Hello, this is Pure Cell here. Um, Here to talk to you about um, actually a review of an album that was very important to the alternative sort of nu metal scene. Today, I will be reviewing Incubus Make Yourself. So to start off, this album is 21 years old, over 20 years old by now, and it's been here for a while. It came around in 1999, just when nu metal was starting to get into the sort of commercial sort of wave, um, and when it was starting to get popular. But the thing is, with Incubus, they weren't really like fully associated with the nu metal scene. I think they tried to go in a more like softer, more alternative sort of more melodic sort of tone than bands like, Korn or Deftones or bands like that. Um so yeah, this album is probably one of my favorites right now. It's a very it I was really excited to get it, and now that I have my hands on it, I couldn't be more thankful. So yeah, let's start the review. So this was produced by Incubus and Scott Litt. I don't know if you know who Scott Litt is. He also produced Incubus's second next album after this, which was Morning View. Morning View is I'm planning to get that soon as well. So just to check out what their other stuff is like, because I really, really like this album and I really like the songs in it. So we're gonna start track by track, um, and we're gonna digest it into each individual track, and I will be reviewing each track on their own. So see ya. One sec. So, track number one, Privilege. This, it starts off with a very, it starts off quite bouncy at the beginning with a boom, 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 very funky bass at the beginning with, and it's just a great way to start off the album, just with the funky bass and the sort of, then the guitars come in and it goes like, it just goes full into your face, like just it goes straight into your face, just the pure sound of Incubus just by one song. It's a perfect way to like show what their sound is all about and what kind of band you're getting into. um and yeah, it's one of the more funk sort of influenced tracks. So they're more sort of funk rock, funk metal tracks, and more like alternative as well. Not sincerely nu metal per se. I would say more nu metal adjacent, sort of influenced by nu metal. So Privilege and it, and we can't leave a track off by mentioning Brandon Boyd's vocals. They're just amazing. I see you and I driving your feet. It's just pure power in his voice, just going all out in the first track and putting all his power into it, and it's just amazing to listen to. Like, Brandon's voice is just absolutely, it fits so well with each individual track, and definitely this one. And we can also we also have to mention DJ Kilmore's amazing turntable work, like it just works so well with Incubus's feel and sort of aesthetic and the aesthetic of this album. It's just it really represents what it, the turntable work I think is very smart and very majestic. Like just I just love the way Kilmore goes into the tracks and sort of, you know, goes into this track and just sends it off with just a bang. So yeah, that was track one. So track number two, Nowhere Fast. This is this starts off with a sort of like dreamlike sort of aesthetic with the sort of DJ work. I think it's DJ work by Chris Kilmore. And it just works so well. It just works so well with the sort of you see the sort of you sort of feel a sort of bubbly sort of sensation that's like that really makes the track sort of whole and just fills it with expression. And then we can also talk about the guitar work as well, which just goes in. It the sound of it it fits really well with the intro to the song. It's exactly the same, pretty much the same beat and same rhythm. It's and Brandon's vocals as well are also nice, also suit this track. So yeah, this is one of my favorite tracks in this album. So next track, Consequence. Just wait 1 second. Okay, so this track is more Consequence is more of a upbeat sort of, well, Privilege was pretty upbeat, but this is even more upbeat sounding, and it's got a faster tempo. It's like, and Brandon's sort of use of sort of singing, but it's kind of like singing sort of mixed with sort of rap. It's sort of like it's got elements of rapping in it, like miss a beat, good. It's like sort of it's obviously influenced by hip hop music, but it's not quite rapping. It's like it's singing, but it's like influenced by rapping. It's like singing in a rhythm, pretty much, and that's pretty much what Brandon's vocals are what Brandon's vocals um what really makes Brandon's vocals unique and nostalgic, um definitely. And I think that's what makes his voice so like enjoyable, is that he pretty much does so many unique things with his vocal cords, and it's obviously influenced by Mike Patton of Faith No More. Um but yeah, this is one of my go-to Incubus tracks. It's not it's not my favorite per se, but I still enjoy it. And yes, it's definitely a more faster and upbeat song that gets you going. Like okay, I was a bit cringy, but you see what I mean. So yeah, that was Consequence. So track number four, The Warmth. This is I'm not I would say more of a sinister sounding track. Like I do, if you get what I mean, it's like boo 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 boo. It's like something is creeping up to you at the beginning of it, and it's like boo 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 boo. It kind of feels like if you were in a if you were in a laboratory, and like some and you were like you hear stuff that's like bubbling up, and it reminds me of just like a laboratory when you're like brewing stuff, when you're brewing the chemicals and stuff like that, but then something like slowly goes wrong, and that's what what it always kind of felt like to me. I know it kind of sounds a bit cheesy and like stuff like that, but and that's generally kind of how I feel when I listen to it, and it kind of really gives off the aesthetic. It's I like the sort of ambient work that's been put into the album to give you an idea of like, oh, what's happening. And Brandon's vocals are more like reverb and echoey, sort of like if he was in a cave or something, and it's like if he's calling out, like, wait, it's like if he's calling out to you, trying to give you a lesson or something. That's what Brandon's vocals are really like in this album. It's like if he's trying to tell you, teach you something, lecture you something, and it's something that's very important, and you know, and that's and just to get yourself up again, like make yourself and stuff like that. And yeah, that's what basically his singing in this track really does to you. It's sort of like, wait, I need to listen to this guy. So yeah, that was the warmth. So track number 5, When It Comes. When It Comes, this is more of a sort of it's sort of in the beginning, it's sort of builds up, if you know what I mean. It's sort of like in the beginning it sort of builds up a little bit, and it sort of gives off that vibe of, wait one sec. So when it comes, this is more of a sort of track that it it's like in the beginning, it's like, it's coming. You hear Brandon's vocals going, it's coming around again. Boop, 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 boop. It's like slowly building up to something like, what are you talking about? What's coming? What's coming its way? Like it's like it's another one of those sort of sinister sounding tracks that make you think, wait, what's gonna happen? Like, is something bad gonna happen? When it comes, it's I don't know 100% what the songs are about, but a lot of them, I think this one is about something getting back at you and trying its hardest to, it's like negativity trying to take over you, and it's like I don't know, like mental illness or something like that trying to get a hold of you, and it's like, but you need to fight that, if you know what I mean. And it just, so I this isn't really my favorite track from the album. It's not a bad track. I like all the songs in this album, but this this is basically one of the tracks that I would usually skip. It's like it's just a bit, it just doesn't really sound the best to me. It's just not really my cup of tea compared to the other ones. Not to say it's bad. I like it. It's just not the one I would come to again and again, listen to again. But yeah. But I do really like when Brandon goes, John, where was it? I do really like that part when he like shouts, "What I'm looking for." That's really good. What I'm what, you know. Actually, I do like this track. I would come to it again, but it's not my favorite Incubus track. So, well, especially in this album. So, yeah, that was When It Comes. Okay, Stellar. Track number 6. This is the first single from Make Yourself. This this is definitely a more softer track. I think it's about Brandon and like his relationship with his girlfriend, and it's kind of inspired by space rock because it's kind of got that space sort of aesthetic where I know I say the word aesthetic a lot, but I like it. It's got that sort of spacey like the lyrics are sort of centered around space and like um how Brandon and his girlfriends are will go to space together and have love, and it's one of my it's a I love this Incubus track. I love the music video as well where they're just like they've got the gadgets and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, and it kind of looks like the album cover as well. The album artwork when you see the music video, and that's what it actually kind of reminds me of. It gives me that sort of feel that I'm experiencing what they are seeing right now, what Brandon's seeing right now when he's looking at you know like Earth and space and what yeah and yeah this is a classic Incubus song. So okay, track number 7. This is a self-titled track. Make Yourself. This it starts off with a sort of acoustic guitar that goes like do 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 do, and then you hear the quiet vocals from Brandon, which goes, if I hadn't make me, wouldn't been make somehow. If I hadn't assembled myself, I'd fallen apart by now. It sort of starts off really soft with really like clicking your fingers to the beat sort of, but then it, Incubus really likes to build up their songs. It starts off like really quiet. Like Incubus really like to start their songs off really quiet, but then they build it up again. Uh, just they build it, they build up their songs. Then it goes like suddenly louder, but it's still not like the heaviest. But when they go their heaviest, they are heavy. They are heavy, but they're not really. They're not like Slipknot or Korn or um uh Deftones or all the rest of the new metal bands, sort of like even Papa Roach, not even as like loud as them. They're definitely a more softer band than the rest of the bands in the scene. So yeah, back to the song. Um, Make Yourself. This track, I really like it. It's good. We hear we when we get into the chorus, um, we hear before we get to the chorus, we hear um, a sort of shout, a sort of scream by Brandon, which goes like sort of shout by Brandon, and he's like, if I hadn't made me paper mache, it's like I think the song's about getting up again and just getting taking care of your life and get rid of the shitty things in it. Sorry for swearing, but getting rid of the really bad things in your life, and uh just there's just so much bad stuff that could fill your life, but there's a way of like getting out of it. And I think that's what the track is about. If I had to make me, I wouldn't make myself. It's just make yourself, just get yourself up again, And that's what I really love about the track. It's one of my favourite Incubus tracks. And then in the end it gets heavier. The song gets heavier and heavier and heavier as time goes on. And in the end we hear a big, loud, powerful scream by Brandon which goes, "Make yourself!" Just is very aggressive, but then it cuts, and it's just a perfect way to end the song, and it's just great song for a self-titled track. It's just it's just perfect Incubus, pretty much. One of my favourites from this album. So, the eighth track, the track that everyone knows, not everyone, but most people think of when they think of Incubus, the song that made Incubus pretty much, made them who they are and what they do, made them who they are, and made them famous pretty much. And it's Drive, of course. It's Drive. It's just one of the few Incubus songs that everybody thinks of when they think of Incubus. And it's just, and I see why. It's such a great song. It's an amazing song. It's just so well, like, it's a very powerful song, I think. And it's just Brandon's vocals are amazing in it, and just powerful. And we can also, this is definitely one of the more softer tracks. It's definitely one of the more softer, more melodic sort of tracks because of the use of the acoustic guitar that plays throughout the song. It's just an acoustic sort of it's a full-on acoustic song, but with a sort of hip hop element to it. It's got a hip hop element to it because of DJ Kilmore's sort of turntablism, use of DJing and stuff like that. So it's like an acoustic guitar over a hip hop beat and some scratching, use of turntables and stuff like that. It's like if you combined acoustic rock with hip hop and you just molded that together into a sort of acoustic rock, sort of trip hop, sort of alternative, sort of hybrid that makes this track what it is. And it's just so unique and so different, and I think that's why everybody loved it, because Incubus, they knew what they were doing when they were writing this track. They knew what kind of sound they wanted to put out, and I think this really led to the sound of Morning View, which I will review next time, so keep on for that. So let's move on. So track 9, Clean. This is another one of my favourite Incubus tracks. This, the use of it's sort of, I think Brandon is at his best when he's singing this song, honestly. When he says, "Clean," it's like, it's so powerful and so, it's one of those songs, another one of those songs that build up, and it's kind of one of those funkier sort of Incubus songs, more inspired by sort of funk rock, funk metal, like sort of Primus, Faith No More, stuff like that. And yeah, it's just one of the more funkier, more sort of cinematic, I would say, Incubus songs. I know what you mean. I know cinematic is a little bit, what do you mean by cinematic? And like, I mean, it could fit into a movie soundtrack, like an action movie or something like that. It could fit in the end credits or something like that. I would imagine it fitting in a sort of movie like I don't know, a superhero movie or something like that. And I just and also Brandon's use of sort of rapping as well. He sort of goes like sort of. I like his use of rapping. It's very mild, but you can see it. You can see the elements. Uh, he does have a great use of rapping in this song, but it's not full on. He's mostly singing in all of these tracks, but I do like his use. He uses it perfectly here, and yeah, Clean is one of my favorite Incubus songs, definitely. Track number 10. This is Battlestar Skrillachica. This is a pure instrumental song with mostly DJ Kilmore doing the work, and it's a more funky soul, jazz, and hip hop inspired track. It's not really rock, I would say. It's more of a sort of jazzy, sort of funk instrumental track. Linkin Park did something similar to this in Hybrid Theory, where it was just Johan doing the DJ work and just showing his capabilities. And this is kind of the same thing where Kilmore shows his sort of um his what he can do and what he can produce, and his use of sampling as well from different media and as well just works perfectly, and just the funky beat just really gets you moving, it gets you happy and just outgoing, you know. And yeah, that's this is another great track by Incubus. I don't really listen to it compared to other tracks because it's an instrumental, but it's still worth talking about, and it's just great. It's a great track, and yeah, all the tracks are good, and this one is one of them. So yeah. So track number 11, I Miss You. This is kind of more of a a much much softer track, but it's not acoustic like Drive is. It's sort of kind of Kilmore's work with Brandon's sort of echoey, sort of dreamlike vocals. It's a very dreamlike song. It's a very relaxing song, and it's quite somber as well. It's about Brandon. I think it's about Brandon's girlfriend leaving him, and he misses her. And it's actually quite a sad song. It's definitely sad compared to the other tracks in the album. It's just it kind of makes you feel bad for Brandon, but it's still nice and it's still pleasant to listen to. It's very soft, and it kind of gives a smile on your face, and but it did actually make me a bit emotional first listening to it because I kind of connected with Brandon and how he felt, and yeah, it's just great. It's a great track. Um, but not as good as the next one. The next track on this is my favourite of all time. So, track number 12, one of my all-time favourite Incubus songs, Pardon Me. One of my favourites, definitely. Just I think they go on with the full alternative nu metal sort of sound, and it's still not quite Korn or like, I don't know, Deftones sort of sound, System of a Down sound, but it's still great, and it still gets you going, and it's like it's got very weird lyrics, and Brandon and the DJ work is amazing as well by Kilmore. I cannot appreciate how underrated Kilmore is in terms of his DJ work. Just he's such an underrated turntablist. He's just amazing, and um Brandon also has a his sort of rapping style where he's sort of singing in a rhythm, but it's not like quite rapping. It's singing in a rhythm pretty much, and it's like it's clearly inspired by hip hop, and he his use of it is really his use of it is fantastic in this song. It's like the spontaneous combustion was me. Well, I guess that it comes for a territory on this landscape of never-ending calamity. I don't know how he does that. It's amazing how he does that. His singing and rhythm, sort of sing rapping, as I would call it, and just the this song is that song has got me through some really tough times recently, and it's just helped me so much, and I personally, and just and plus it was the first Incubus song I ever heard, so I gotta give credit to that, and just probably one of my favorite Incubus songs of all time. So yeah, pardon me. Track number 13, the final track, Out From Under. This track, it's not one of my favourite Incubus songs. It's not a bad song. None of the songs in this album I think are bad. I think they're all great and unique, good and unique in their own way, and great in their own way. But just something about this track, I kind of just I don't know, put me off it. But it's not bad. It's not bad. I still like it. It's a more heavier track. It's definitely more heavier. It's kind of got the same sort of vibe as Make Yourself, with that sort of, but it's still gives a good send off to the album, saying thank you for listening and stuff like that. Out for well, they don't say that in the track, but it just feels that way. And get out from under best. Just, hey, you gotta get out of from under, and it just really gives the album the perfect ending it deserves, and just Brandon's use of screaming and sort of rapping, and yeah, he sort of uses sort of singing, rapping, and screaming at the same time in this track, just to sort of meld it together, and it just works so perfectly. And let's talk about the guitar work as well. I really like it. So it goes. See, all the what I love about Incubus is that all the band members sort of tracks, as you would say, are well, not tracks, sort of usage. They put it to the maximum, and it works so well. And yeah, Out From Under, it's another good track. Not one of my favourite Incubus songs, but still a good track. And yeah, that's it. So that was my review of Incubus, Make Yourself, one of my all-time favourite albums right now. I hope you enjoyed the review, and next time I will be reviewing I don't know if I'll review Papa Roach Infest or Linkin Park Hybrid Theory. I'll have to check the date. So I might review Papa Roach Infest. but I'll let you know. I'll let you know when I'll review the specific albums. So if you see either Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory, Papa Roach, and Fest, that means I've made my decision. So yeah, be excited for my next review. I'll tell you what's to come next. Alien after maybe Hybrid Theory or Infest, Alien Ant Farm Anthology, and Trust Company, The Lonely Position of Neutral. I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you later. Bye. Yourself.